Yeah, welcome to Yellow Skunk Farms, everybody. Quick disclaimer, this is a 21-year-old and up channel. So if you're not 21, please leave the channel now. I appreciate it. And you see what I see. We started her up at 10 o'clock yesterday. We haven't shut her down. You can definitely see our splash points. It's going to be spreading water up through in these pockets. So that's actually working out really well. Better than I thought, actually. I mean, I knew I'd get some splash in these zones. That's why, I wasn't worried about wicking water up into these pockets, because I knew I'd get some splash over, which would hopefully spread. All we really have to do is put some sand, silt, and clay through here to wick that water up. You can see it. It's going to stay nice and wet. And once we get plants in there, those plants will wick that water right on up. And it'll be almost perfect. So I do have some basil here. I had sitting on the kitchen counter. Just some organic basil we got from, I think, Trader Joe's. And then I had a old sweet potato been sitting on my counter that I let spud. So what I can do actually is just cut this in half and bury it wherever I want. I was thinking right in here, right on the corner here. Let that thing just, and then my herbs, basil is going to go over here. In the herb garden. Maybe somewhere in here. Cover up that. We'll get a little bit of splash, but not a whole lot. We'll get something up in there that really likes. Probably tuck it up underneath that ledge there. You can see we got a little bit of a ledge. You can see the splash kind of comes over and actually goes into the pond. So that's a pretty good thing. And all we have to do to change the flow, change the splash, is move that log right there, or move one of these rocks. So I can actually move this rock, and that will completely change the way that flows, the way it splashes. So we can do that now. And then move this a little bit, and that will change the splash. So now instead of it all going in the same spot, it'll go to a different spot. So it won't saturate. We can move those spots around, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. So now that we did that, we'll probably get a splash point, maybe over here a little bit further, or up in there a little bit further, or maybe not at all. Maybe it'll just come, you can see it comes shooting over into here. So there's so many things we can do to change the flow. But everything's been looking really good. We've got this. We went and got some rocks. We've got a little bit of star moss, a little bit of grass for around the edge. And these rocks that I have here, these are the rocks that we're going to use just to change the flow of the creek and to prop up the sand and silt. So you kind of see what I did here. I'm going to put these two here to kind of, there's a little hole here. I was using these rocks to kind of push, to hold up the sand and silt. So just push that in there, and that'll hold these, keep this from sliding down from erosion. Because it will erode up underneath here. So that's why we place these bigger rocks. And what I was trying to do is get that water to come down here and hit right here and spin in this pool here. And I think that's exactly what we did. So we can just take a piece of this and see what happens. I want to see it spin. See that? Whee! That's called a vortex. And we can work on that, you know what I'm saying? We can just push this down, get a bigger rock for here. Maybe something like this. Move this. Put this here. And that's going to create a little bit more. Let me get a piece of. See what happens. This is the kind of stuff I like to do. See that? It's just going to spin around. We just got to get it to where it'll push it on around that. It is. It's working on it. Look at it. Keep working it. Hanging up on, it's hanging on that rock right there. That is what we're looking for. So if we put it up there, up on here, but a lot of things, sometimes it'll come down and get caught. We might need a bigger rock right here. Let's see here. Let's get one with a sharp edge. Look at that now. We ought to be able to trap some bubbles in there. She's flowing around that corner really hard right now. I wonder if I stick this right here. Watch the bubbles go through the center there. Place this right here. Oh, that's crazy. So that, we'll just take some pea gravel maybe. Create some turbulence. And build it up around that wall there. I don't want to do, can't stomp it up too much. I'm just trying to see what this does. We just messed it up. Let's put it over here. Well, that's not doing what we want, but we'll come back to that. Yeah, that's the kind of shit we're looking for. So we put up our, this was our low point. Now we got a good inch of space there to play with. The waterfall is looking really good. If we don't want any splash, we can just slide that log over and let it hit down. That reduces the splash quite a bit. So if we don't hit that log, we really don't have a lot of splash. All those little things we can, man, we're getting a lot of aeration right there. I mean, it's actually almost perfect. Coming down through here, we're creating little pools. So we're creating pools right here. See where it's pooling up, and then right here, we come down through here, we're getting more pool, another pool over here. So these are all catch points for poo, for waste. Basically, they would be gold catch points. And this is what's going to filter our water when we get fish. This is going to take, it's only been less than 24 hours, so it's going to take probably close to a week to clean up. I can already see it's getting cleaner. The air bubbles, very splotchy air. That's biology working. It will take about a week to cycle. We've already added the purple non-sulfur bacteria. We've added microbes plus. We've added lactic acid bacteria. We've done all that. So the life is there. Just needs time to set up shop. Got time to build. Just like over here. This one's a year and a half old. Actually, June 17th will be a year and 6 months. What do you think, Scoot? Looking good, girl. Cooter's over here going crazy. Oh, that's Plinko messing. Plinko loves to play with or mess with Cooter. There's Cooter. What's up, Coot? You gotta remember, there's no filtration box. The creek is the filter. So, somebody said the other day, man, that pond's so clear. What kind of filter you use? And I was like, I don't use a filter. There is no filter. No filter box. There's no filter pad. The only thing we use is biochar bags called Chemi Pure bags. It's a Chemi Pure, here, I'll show you. Just put a new one in. I used to use these from a saltwater aquarium. So it's all-in-one filter media. Reef, marine, jellyfish, high pH, freshwater aquariums. Really good stuff. A really good bag. Really, it's all I need Now you would need more in an aquarium. That's just one thing you can use. You can see them over there. I just take them out and throw them over there until most of the time I can cut the bag open and then put that biochar in like an IMO 4 and 5. But you can see the snails love hanging out. The snails keep the bag clean. So as the poo hits and the water runs through, catches the bacteria, catches all the stuff, the snails come in, the shrimp come in and start picking away at the bag. And they keep that clean, so water is allowed to pass through the bag. If not, the mesh, that was one bad part about those bags, is that the mesh cakes up really easily, doesn't allow water to flow through properly. But when you put them in there like that with the snails and the shrimp, all the biology keeps the bag clean and allows water to flow through. But you can imagine all the surface area that we have. So that's all what a sub tank in a saltwater aquarium is all about: surface area. The more you get, the more biology you can store. The more biology you can store, the cleaner your water is going to be. We got algae growing back from the crash. Remember, we didn't have any algae. We killed it all off. And you're going to sit there and I was wondering if it was the light that killed off all the cyanobacteria, and we were right, 100%. It killed off. Now we haven't run any red, and the algae came right back. Did water change. We had to do a water change because once the red light killed off all the cyanobacteria, that caused the crash, because that's death. You got to remember, these are living things, and if they die, they cause buildup of gases and shit, and things just can't live in that. Along with the poo, these things are getting heavy, starting to dangle and smell delicious. Look at how we're dangling down here. Let's let them dangle. Fuck it. I ain't doing shit. Man, they smell good. Whew. Dangle, baby. That by dangling like that, I'm getting light to these lowers. And when we get light to the lowers, we get nice stuff. Now, I don't expect these to get very big, mainly because we crashed the system. We're not running CO2 in here right now. I know I should be, but I'm not. CO2 is definitely low, but the stress in here on the plants was extremely high, and we should have been using carbon or running CO2, but I said I just didn't have any to run. And my IMO, it cooked all the way out, so I haven't made any more. We're gonna make some more. I got some outside, so hopefully we're only day 44, 45, 44. So we're probably a little over halfway there. Maybe we probably had a week, maybe 2 weeks of setback from the crash. So we'll probably let them go a little longer, but who knows? Stress may make them finish early. May not. I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But when they dangle, we're getting light to the lowers. Look. Good looking flower. That's Luna. This is a raspberry deadhead from Luna Whitcomb. I haven't seen any pests. That was one good thing. I thought we were going to see pests other than the flies and gnats, which they completely went away. You remember those big, huge flies? I told you we'd have a burst of gnats and we'd have a burst of flies after the gnats. And then once that initial fly larva hatched and those flies died, there would be no more because their larva gets eaten by the new biology that's being formed, the springtails, the rove beetles. Once we get the system back in check, all that biology kills all those pest larvae, and they can't reproduce. And if they can't reproduce, you just get that one cycle, and then you don't get any more. And that's what happened. I don't see any flying flies. Whereas before, when we came in here, if you remember, we had them, I mean, just a mess of them over here. I touched this and it was like flies everywhere. They were eating this lizard shit. And yeah, those are skink. That's skink shit. Those are lizards. I haven't seen Digger. Digger, where are you at? Oh, there he is. Come on down here, Dig. Yeah, y'all want to hang out today? We'll be going live today. We're going to be messing with this. We're going to be placing rocks, messing with this. Going to plant our potato, plant our basil. You know, messing around in here. So come on, hang out with us. And we'll see you then. Peace.